This is a new video from me today. Now, but it's gonna be a serious video from me because I know I've been doing top 10 videos and other type of videos. It's just gonna be a video about me talking about John Morrison. Is he the future of the WWE, or is he just a mirage like guys like MVP and other guys who were built as the next big thing in wrestling when they made their debut and when they started working with good workers who took them to a different level? Just gonna be my video talking about that. But before I get to that, I was going to talk about the Kurt Angle thing, but pretty much everyone is already talking about that. Really, I hope this guy gets help because we really don't need to lose another wrestler. We lost too many wrestlers over the past year. We lost Tess. We lost the fabulous Moolah. I believe she died either this year or last year. I'm not sure. Then we lost a couple other guys, and really, and then of course lost Chris Benoit in 2007. And really, the wrestling world doesn't need to lose someone as great as a wrestler as Kurt Angle, and that's one of the reasons why I feel that Kurt Angle just needs to do something to get himself some help. Check in to like rehab or something and get himself some help because he's on the verge of probably self-destructing, and some of the wrestling fans and many wrestling fans like me, we really don't need to see that because this guy's too talented and too nice of a guy to self-destruct like he's been doing, because he really doesn't need to be doing what he really doesn't need to get himself in trouble or worse die, because like I said, we don't need to see this again. And then last night, or what TNA did, I believe Victory Road last night, the main event with Kurt Angle, Sting, and Matt Morgan. The match ended when Kurt Angle ended up winning, retaining his title, and I'm just thinking to myself when I saw the results of that, what the hell is TNA thinking? I mean, your top star just got in trouble, and he got all these charges against him, and TNA, you would think TNA watched what WWE and many of the other independent promotions do to wrestlers who tend to get in serious trouble or something like that. They punish them, they have them drop the title, suspend them, or something like that. But that's not the case with TNA, as I just lost a lot of, or whatever respect I had for TNA, I just lost a lot of it from them because TNA should have known better than TNA should have known. I'm sorry about that. I thought my computer paused. My computer froze a little bit, but TNA should have known better than to have Kurt Angle retain his title. I mean, just sets a bad example for the guys in the back. Just sets a bad example. Sorry about that. My computer just keeps doing that. Just sets a bad example for the guys in the back, guys who look up to Kurt Angle and who are learning from him and trying to be more of a better wrestler by learning from him. It just sets a bad example for those type of wrestlers in the back, and that's one of the reasons why I feel that TNA just sort of dropped the ball by doing that. But hopefully they have him drop the title at Impact or something like that, because this is just ridiculous, and it just shows all the problems that TNA is facing right now in that company, and that's one of the main problems right now. So hopefully TNA fixes those problems. Kurt Angle gets checked in or gets some help, because we really don't need to lose another wrestler, and hopefully things start going better and getting better for Kurt Angle, because really this is just not something we need to see. But getting to this video, talking about John Morrison. John Morrison, as of late, has been getting a push, as some of you know. Yeah, if some of you have been watching SmackDown as of late, he's been getting, WWE's just been pushing him to the moon, and really he's been advertised as one of the future guys in the company, or one of the future top guys in the company. And in my opinion, the guy is future. He is a big draw or a big superstar, but he's just missing that one thing that separates him or puts him on that same level as a guy like a Shawn Michaels or an Undertaker, or even the late Eddie Guerrero or the late Chris Benoit. That separates him, that puts him in that same elite or almost close to that elite. And that's the fact that John Morrison really is missing that one thing in wrestling, as I've noticed when I watch some of his matches, I say this guy's good. He's got everything. He's got the look. He's got just exactly what most wrestlers are missing. But there's just that one thing that just keeps him, that's holding him back, or holding him back from being at the same level as guys like what I just said, the late Chris Benoit, the late Eddie Guerrero, or even guys like Shawn Michaels or other guys, or Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock. And that's the fact that he can't really he can't tell a story in most of his matches. As you know, he had that good match against Jeff Hardy maybe a couple SmackDowns ago. Well, the SmackDown before last week, it was a very good matchup between two guys who just had a real good matchup. But the main problem with that matchup was the fact that it was a good matchup, but it wasn't a great matchup. That's the main problem with that matchup. As it was good, but it wasn't great, as the match didn't really tell a real good story. It was mostly just a spot fest type of a matchup, as John Morrison hit all of his spots and he did all his usual moves in that matchup, and Jeff Hardy did his usual thing. But really, it wasn't the type of match that made you say, hey, this is a really good match, or this is one of the matches of the year in 2009. It really didn't do that for you. And even the match against CM Punk really didn't do that, as the matches that he had really just didn't tell no story at all. It didn't suck the crowd in. It didn't really suck the crowd into the match. Like, there wasn't no storytelling. Like, there wasn't other moves outside of the spots that sort of told a story in the matchup that helped the match flow, and why these wrestlers are going up against each other, and all the stuff that they're doing to win a match. Sort of reminiscent of what The Undertaker and Shelton Benjamin did when they had their matchup. If you remember that, I believe it was in January, when Shelton Benjamin and The Undertaker had their matchup, their one-on-one matchup, and it was a really good matchup, mainly to the simple fact that the match told a good story, to the simple fact that the story behind that matchup was the fact that Shelton Benjamin was doing everything he can to beat The Undertaker, to solidify himself as the top guy in the company, or to get that big push in the company. And that's pretty much what the story was telling in that matchup. And then give you another example, the matchup between Shawn Michaels and Undertaker told a real good story, with Shawn Michaels doing everything he can to beat The Undertaker and to end The Undertaker's undefeated streak, and Undertaker doing everything he can to keep Shawn Michaels from ending his undefeated streak, and then having all the moves and everything else. And of course you saw a couple spots, but mainly it was the storytelling that really helped the match become real good and have many people talking. It wasn't the moves or anything else, it was the storytelling. And that's what I feel with John Morrison, as his matches they don't really have enough storytelling, or he's not really doing what Shelton Benjamin did when he had his match with Undertaker. His matches aren't telling a story, and that's the one thing I feel that's missing with John Morrison, is the fact that he's not telling a story in any of his matches that he goes up when he has a match. He's not doing that. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy's a magnificent athlete. He has the look, he has the charisma. He's okay on the mic, or he's good on the mic. But like I said, he's just missing that one thing, and that's the fact that he's not telling a story in his matches. And that's what separates the good wrestlers from the okay wrestlers. It's the fact that they can tell stories, and they don't have to use spot after spot after spot in their matches just to get the crowd up or get the crowd pumped or anything like that. And that's what I feel that John Morrison would need to make his matches more exciting and make people get more into his matches, to the point where people say, hey, this is a great matchup, or this is a match of the year, or something like that. And if John Morrison can do that, then he'll be up there. He'll be sort of at the same level, or almost close to the same level, as guys like Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles, and guys from the independent promotions, because they can tell good stories in their matchups. And that's what I feel that John Morrison needs to get himself up there with all the guys who can do that in every match that they're in. But anyhow, that's just my video of talking about, is John Morrison the future of the WWE, or is he a mirage? Like, is he Is he gonna be where guys like MVP and other guys like that just talking about that? Hope you like my video. You can rate, you can comment. Sorry for this video acting funny. Hopefully it fixes that. But anyhow, I'm out. Peace.